Good morning. This is Cara Romano here at the first day of the Consumer Goods Technology Emerging Markets Forum. I'm here with Lora Cecere, founder of Supply Chain Insights, who's going to be a speaker a little bit later on. Good morning. How are you doing?
Excellent, Cara. It's great to see this, and I think this is an important topic.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. So help us understand why. Emerging markets are, we just heard from an economic perspective. We talked about Africa. Are there challenges or are there huge opportunities? Why is this such an important topic, specifically in this industry?
Well, if you look at growth over the last 5 years, we've seen a decrease in growth by about 50% in the United States. And most of food and beverage and consumer packaged goods have been very focused on the North American market. And so as companies try to become more global and to get more growth into global economies, one of the things I think that they're not careful about is the definition of what global means and the global organization. So one of the things we're going to be talking about on my panel is what does a global organization mean? And Cara, a lot of times people say they're global, but it's all different flavors of global, right? At the product portfolio level, at the organizational level, at the governance level, and at, what are we doing in promotions and price and ethics. It's a whole new area, I think, for us to explore. But I think the opportunities are great because those economies are growing at a much faster rate than, the good old US of A, where most of companies have such a entrenched position.
Right. Are there specific regions that you're looking at that you think are apt to grow a little bit faster or that have better opportunities for the products that consumer goods companies are focused on?
Well, one of the things I've been looking at is Africa, and the last speaker was talking about Africa. And I think digital agriculture into Africa and some of the aspects of collaborative economy and how do we really build that economy up from the agricultural level to food and beverage and some of the more ethnic areas of Africa. I also think the evolution of China, one of the things we talked about last week at a conference I was at is the air pollution issues within China and how do we make China a better place for everyone and really be able to power that economy. And I also love India. I love all the regions of India and what we can do there. And I spend a lot of time in the emerging economies of Europe, the old Eastern Bloc, and what they look like in the ascension into the euro. So I think all of them are very interesting.
Great. One last question. People look to you for supply chain expertise. It's a real challenge, that the tactical moving of goods from one place to another in some of these markets. Any advice from a supply chain perspective, how to leverage technology, how to help with that supply chain?
Well, I believe, based upon the research I'm doing, that it gets down to design and form and function of inventory. And often people will be surprised at the in-transit inventories because they're not looking at form and function of inventory and the rhythms and cycles of the flows. The other thing is I think it requires the evolution of a new form of supply chain visibility. We say supply chain visibility, but it means so many different things to different people. But I'm very bullish on cognitive learning and rules-based ontologies and the evolution of new forms of supply chain visibility and what we can do with business-to-business networks. And I think that's very exciting. I think we should really think about supply chain visibility as we move into new economies. The other thing is the planning organizations. We've got a need to grow these planning organizations, and most companies have planning organizations that lack training and lack the ability to know how to take planning technologies into decision making. So I think those three elements really offer some promise.
That talent challenge keeps coming back up, doesn't it?
Yeah, we find that companies aren't doing it very well. In fact, our recent survey data says that only 14% of companies think that they're doing global supply chain talent development well. And that's a huge opportunity for you and I think, to really help power some of that transformation.
Absolutely. Well, thank you very much. Look forward to many more conversations with Lora.
Thank you.